Crossbars, goalie's best friend or goalie's worst enemy? Find out on this episode of Kings This Week. It is Wednesday, which means it is time for another episode of Kings This Week. Welcome back. My name is Jordan Kiss. A wild weekend for the Kings with two games on the road in Salmon Arm and Chilliwack that had just a little bit of everything in those two games. We'll quickly get to the recap here, but before that, a couple roster moves here with this Kings team. It's how, once again, we'll start our show off with. All right, before the Kings hit the road, they made another trade, this time bringing in a player, and that player's name is Alex Sandu, as the Kings made a deal with the Surrey Eagles, sending future considerations the other way. Sandu is an 0-5, played in 10 games this year for the Eagles, with a goal and assist in those 10 games. It is his first year in the BCHL. Now, he is somebody that the Kings are familiar with, as he was an affiliate player with the team last year, never got into any games as an AP, but this Kings staff know the potential that Sandu has, and they are very excited to add him here to the roster. Then also for the Kings, a couple players no longer with the team. First off, Carter Cochran, as him and the team have mutually agreed to part ways. Cochran was acquired at the end of September in a trade from the Coquitlam Express that sent Liam Tanner over to Coquitlam. This season he collected a goal and 3 assists in 12 games for the Kings. And then Aaron Neal has reportedly been traded, as they're currently working out the final details on that. Neal, who was in his third year with the team, played in 13 games this season, collecting 1 goal and 1 assist. The Kings definitely wish both Carter and Aaron the best of luck going forward. Now, I did talk to General Manager Chad Van Diemen in Salmon Arm about the roster moves and the start of the season. If you want to listen to that interview, if you haven't already, you can go down to our Facebook page. It is also on our SoundCloud as well. Search up Powell River Kings on SoundCloud. It is also on our website if you want to listen. Now, on Friday, the Kings played in their 4th consecutive road game as they headed up to Salmon Arm to take on the Silverbacks for the second time this season. It was the Backs taking the first meeting by a score of 3-1 at the BCHL Showcase, and they would get off to a hot start in this one as they would score on their first 2 shots of the game. First off, Nathan Mackey, 2:29 in, his 10th of the season, beating Kyle Metzen by the glove. Then at 3:16, Maddox Martin, his 4th of the season, as the Silverbacks took a 2-0 lead very early on into this one. Now, the Kings would get one on a power play of their own. Great power play here by the Kings, never giving up the puck, having possession the entire time, as Casey Youngman would fire home his 2nd of the season to make it 2-1 Salmon Arm. Now, the Backs would get one more at the end of the period. Brandon Sanawana on a power play of their own, his 5th of the season, 2nd against the Kings, as Salmon Arm took a 3-1 lead after 1 period. Now, in the second period, the goals started coming, and they wouldn't stop coming. First off, 2:15 in, Parker Lalonde hammering home the rebound for his 5th of the season. 3-2 Salmon Arm leads. Then at 4:51, Cardinal McNarland with a gift here from Carter Richardson in the Salmon Arm net, finding its way in for McNarland's 4th of the year, as we were tied 3-3. Then 5 minutes after that, Kings take lead. Max Poffin with the redirect on the power play, his 4th of the season. And then 2 minutes later, Anthony Lucarelli put the Kings up by 2 after a great pass from Nick Burketta for Lucarelli's 5th of the season, as the Kings, stunning the Salmon Arm crowd, scored 4 goals in the first 11 and a half minutes of the second period to take a 5-3 lead. Now, shortly after Lucarelli made it 5-3, that's where things would change in this game. 20 seconds after, Silverbacks would go in on a 2-on-1. Owen Beckner with the shot. It would hit the crossbar, but the referee immediately calling it a goal on the play. You see the replay there. Make you what you want of it. The Kings would argue the call. Were unsuccessful in that, as that goal stood, as it was now a 5-4 Kings lead. Now, the Kings obviously rattled by that, and the Silverbacks took advantage of that. Ethan Ulrich at 16-12 of the second period with the redirect in front of the net over Metzen for his 8th. Then at 18-24, William Levine firing home his 2nd of the year to put the Silverbacks up 6-5, which is where we stood after 2 periods. Now, in the third period, the Kings would try to equalize the score. Their best chance came here with the extra attacker out. Parker Lalonde and Max Poff with 2 good chances here. They would come to Jack Blanchett, who would use his patented cannon of a slap shot, exploding the goalie mask of Carter Richardson, but the puck stayed out as the Silverbacks took this one by a score of 6-5. Final shots in this game were 39-28 for the Silverbacks, but the Kings power play, a good night for them, going 2 for 3 on the man advantage. Now, after a tough loss on Friday, the Kings would have to regroup quickly as the next day they headed down into Chilliwack to take on the Chiefs for the first time this season. But once again, it was the opposition getting on the scoreboard here first. 14:45, and Dryden Kiramoto down the right side with the shot past the blocker of Liam Vanderkoy for his first in the BCHL. Now, the Kings would tie it up, though, just over 2 minutes later. Max Poffin here on a partial break would get taken down. No call on the play, but Max Poffin wouldn't give up. He would get the puck, and he would fire at home, top corner for his 5th of the season, second in as many games, as we were all square after one period. Now in the second period, about 7.5 minutes in, we found ourselves 4-on-4, and it was the Chiefs who took advantage. Nathan Morin, his 4th of the year, just sneaking one under the arm of Vanderkoy to make it 2-1 Chilliwack. Then they would extend that lead to 2 at 13:41 in on a great passing play here on the power play. It would find its way to Tim DeLay, who would notch his 2nd of the season. Now, under 2 minutes after that, though, the Kings would get one more on the board. Jack Blanchett scoring his team-leading 6th of the season off a great pass here from Max Poffin as the Chiefs led 3-2 after 40 minutes. Now in the third period, the Kings would control play and would be rewarded with a goal. Cam Simons finding Nick Burketta all alone in front for his 5th of the season and scoring in his 2nd game back since returning from injury, as we were all square at 3 as this game needed overtime. Now in OT, both teams with plenty of chances. One of the best for the Kings early on. A give and go. Parker Lalonde and Casey Allman. Allman to Lalonde. Open net, but the pass not on his tape as he couldn't put it home for the game winner. Now shortly later, then Sasha Teleguin on a breakaway for the Chiefs will go to the backhand, but Liam Vanderkoy coming up with one of his biggest saves as a member of the Kings as we continue on here. Now shortly after that breakaway, AJ Lacroix all alone in front and stopped again by Liam Vanderkoy. Now the Kings would get another chance here. Carter McNarland again open net, but the puck not on his tape. The crazy chances on both sides here in OT. Then later on towards the end, Mateo Mercic alone, but the crossbar saving the day here for the Kings as overtime would solve nothing and we would need a shootout. Now, second shooter in the first round. Chiefs unable to score on their first shot. New King Alex Sandu with a chance to make a good impression. He would make a great move in here to put the Kings up 1-0 in the shootout. Now it would come down to the final round here. AJ Lacroix needing to score to keep his team in it, and he would do just that as this one needed extra shooters. First extra shooter here, Tim DeLay, able to beat Liam Vanderkoy now to put the game in the hands of the Kings as the Kings would send out Mr. 100 Dylan Hewlett, who is playing in his 100th game as a King, but was unable to get a shot away as the Chiefs would take this one 4-3 in a shootout as the Kings now 4-11, 1-2 on the season and have dropped their last 5 games. Now, after 2 straight weekends on the road, the Kings finally return home to take on the Victoria Grizzlies for 2 games as they kick off an 8-game homestand starting this Friday at 7 o'clock, then Saturday at 5 o'clock. And again, it is Parents Weekend here at the HAP, so as the players' parents will be in town to cheer on their boys live and in person. It should be a rocking atmosphere, so be sure to get your tickets ahead of schedule online at tickets.PaletRiverKings.com. Now, they're taking on the Grizzlies for the first time this season. It was the Grizzlies taking all 7 meetings last year, but the Grizzlies did lose a number of players from their core from last year. Of course, last year's Rookie of the Year leading scorer Matthew Wood, projected first-round draft pick in the 2023 NHL Draft, now tearing up at UConn as an underager. Of course, no Clark Hebert, no Andrew Moose, no Ellis Rickwood, or Connor Eddy, as those guys have gone on to play NCAA hockey. But this is still a very solid Grizzlies team. A new head coach this year as well in Ryland Furster, who was a Grizzlies coach way back in the day, I think when they were named the Salsa. Also led the West Kelowna Warriors to an RBC Cup back in 2016 as they come into this one with a record of 7-8-1-2 on the season. And are also playing their second straight weekend on the road. Last weekend, a long road trip for them last Friday in Wenatchee where they dropped a 6-0 contest. And then on Saturday in Cranbrook where they lost 6-4 to the Bucks. And that is our wrap on another episode of Kings This Week. As always, thank you very much for joining me. The Kings looking to build off 2 tough losses from last weekend. Despite the 2 1-goal losses, played some very good hockey as they look to continue that this weekend as they kick off a huge, absolutely crucial 8-game homestand this weekend against the Victoria Grizzlies. Again, it is a 7 o'clock puck drop here on Friday, then a 5 o'clock start on Saturday night here at the Hat Parker Arena. Get your tickets ahead of schedule online at tickets.powellriverkings.com. Also, don't forget about our gift card basket raffle. Tickets are still available. Only a limited amount of tickets. A gift card basket worth $1,175 in value. You can come by the Kings office to purchase your tickets, as the winner will be selected on December 15th. So until next time, my name is Jordan Kiss. Go Kings, go.